I think a lot of people talk about the lack of leadership in Japan, and I agree to that Western from a Western perspective that is true. But I think there are certain good elements of Japanese culture, which means that there's been very little corporate greed, right? Maybe there should be more, but when you have these missed issues or financial misdeeds, there's usually nobody pocketing a huge bunch of money and running away, right? And which is unlike some other countries. So I think honesty is a key strength in Japan. How do you convert that to more innovativism and more entrepreneurialism? I don't know, right? But I think there's a good foundation to build business, which is trust and honesty. How do you equate that to taking more risk? I guess everybody has their own way, and that's probably the rough part, the most difficult part to find a solution for.
Anything else we could have talked about?
I don't know. I mean, this is a good place to be. I mean, everything works. Food's great.
Yep.
And what can I say?
Well, it's got rule of law. Things work, as you say, and generally speaking, there is a place for gaishike companies and people, coming from those countries to staff them to make a difference here. So there is an opportunity to make a career in Japan, certainly. You've certainly made a great career in Japan.
I still hope to bring some more to Japan, and I think...
What are you doing these days? You've retired from Infineon,
yes.
But you're not playing golf or playing, going to Hawaii or something. You're actually still beavering away. What are you doing?
Beavering away. So I'm looking at everybody say AI and big data, and I was always interested in it because we're certainly kind of involved in that where automotive driving, or autonomous driving in the automotive world, where Infineon is a serious play in that with radar technologies and LiDAR technologies, but more and more is in the car is going to be driven by software and artificial intelligence as well as big data crunching. And so I've helping companies analyze factory data, which is usually a little bit messy because they're all old equipment, new equipment from different manufacturers. There are no standards. But what I clearly learned is that big data and good data analytics can actually relieve so much of the problems of quality and efficiency that it's incredible. It's an incredible, powerful tool to have. Here we have a challenge because of the Japanese organization decision-making thing. Because AI is so complex, there's very little understanding in the traditional management style companies, and yet this is not just a technology thing. It is a organizational change thing. Because if you start using AI, it's not going to get rid of jobs, but it's going to enhance different jobs in different ways. That it's going to change the organization structure, and this is where Japan is very, very weak at in terms of I think making deliberate organizational change to suit the technology versus organizations which are there to serve.
So where would you identify the weakness? What's the weakness?
Well, what has been Japan's strength, at least in manufacture, could become weaknesses. For example, Industry 4.0 was a weapon, I think, for Germany to modernize the industry. And what I think the key thing was they basically digitized manufacturing. And why digitized manufacturing is key is knowledge transfer becomes more easy, right? And knowledge transfer takes years if you do it the human way. You have the Meister who's there, who then has to teach it over, and it takes decades to do that. But if you can digitize it, then, of course, the Meister no longer gets to develop the kid, but the kid or the new younger person gets to use that know-how stored in a different technology in different ways, and probably more powerful ways. In Japan, you have the Gemba, which is one of the best. And I think Industry 4.0 in a certain way says that was for Germany to overtake Japan because Japanese Gemba and the German Gemba are both competing edge.
So Gemba means the
factory floor. The factory floor,
in that sense, right?
Yeah. And so, but right now the Gemba is so strong that there is a little bit of a reluctance to go digital. But what's becoming clearer that is these people are getting older and they're less and less workers, that the digitization needs to happen. So I think they're trying to digitize quicker, but they're taking a long delay. But they need to make fast decisions, and fast decisions are not the strength of traditional corporate Japanese mechanism. And here you see a lot of other worlds where the CEO actually takes a more active role when he takes his shirt sleeves up and goes on the factory floor. You never see that happening in Japan. It's more of a kind of a ceremonial role when they do that. But you see more and more senior managers really go into the factory floor and talk with the operators and kind of figure out and say that digital change is necessary, and then I'm here to drive that change. I think that kind of change management is probably going to be more necessary in Japan in the future.
Well, Yasuaki Mori-san, that has been fascinating conversation about leadership, and also the extra bonus there of talking about AI and Japan's future with AI. Thank you very much for joining me today on the Leadership Japan Series podcast.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.